big win to start out SEC play. Obviously, it's Kentucky. You know, got great basketball tradition. They still got a ton of talent on that team. So to be able to build a 21-point lead in the second half really speaks to the way our guys started the game out. I thought, we started out down 5-zip and then responded with a big run. It's nice to change the starting lineup up again. Houston's great. I love Houston. He's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached, and he just comes to me at the end of the game. He's like, keep bringing me off the bench. I love coming off the bench, bring some energy. He started 4 for 4 from three. He's just all about the right stuff. So I can't say enough about these guys that, he's got a lot of that Herb Jones in them. They don't really care whether they start, finish, whatever. They just put me in, use me how you need to win games. He's been great. I thought Trelly, we get to the halftime and Trelly's plus 17 in the first half because of the job that he was able to do on Diabate. So, our guards have been some of our better players. Sometimes it's hard to play them all together, but when you can put Reitzel on, their four-man Diabate, and he can really kind of hold his own, I thought that was big. So, you're also not able to do it without Amari Allen going and get 9 rebounds. So, we didn't expect Reitzel to get a lot of rebounds guarding Diabate, but, he kept Diabate off enough. He was able to guard him in the post well enough. Mo plays over 21 minutes and only has 6 points. He's their second leading scorer coming in the game. So, we were trying to keep the ball out of the paint. The paint points were close. They ended up outscoring us by 4, but that was the main thing is keep the ball out of the paint, keep it out of transition. I thought we didn't do a great job of that. In the second half, we still didn't push fast enough ourselves, but, we did a pretty good job. And then, I'll say this before I even get it started into everything. So we've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and we'll get to the injury report in a minute, but to have the access to me, the best doctors in the country at Andrews like we do it's huge. I mean, we don't win the game without those guys being here. Norman Waldrop comes to campus on his own yesterday to treat guys. Dr. Kane's at the game, was able to evaluate Amari and Aiden Sherrill. You've got confidence that you're not putting a guy back in, risking further injury, or should you not? They get Amari back. If Amari's not able to play those 31 minutes, I don't know if we win this game. So having the best doctors in the country at your games, at your disposal every day is huge. Speaks to the level of importance that Alabama as a university puts on the care and welfare of their student athletes. I think we do a better job taking care of our student athletes than anybody in the country. And I think it showed today, and without the emphasis that they put on those guys, we probably don't win the game today. So I will get to the injuries. Amari's was able to play through. He had an ankle sprain. He's going to be, talk to Dr. Kane after. He's going to be real sore for a few days. We'll probably sit him until Vanderbilt, and he'll be able to go. Taylor, Dr. Waldrop came in, did a whole evaluation yesterday on him. Just wasn't quite ready, but available if needed. I think job Noah Williamson did, made it so that we could sit Taylor one more game, but he got a big jump start on his treatment. He had a sprained ankle in practice a few days ago. And then Aiden Sherrill, we just didn't want to risk it. He's going to get tested tomorrow. It's his knee, but they don't think it's anything serious. We're thinking he's going to be able to play against Vandy, but we want to make sure he got more tests on our off day tomorrow before we make a decision on his availability moving forward next week.
Yeah, Aiden Holloway, 26 points tonight. Ties a career high. Just what you see from him?
Yeah, he shoots the ball really well from all over the place. 30 feet, 28 feet. You can put him in. He shot it just as well from three as he did at the free throw line. He's all frustrated with himself for not making his free throws, but 6 of 8 from three is pretty good. I mean, he's one of the best shooters in the country. We had 3 guys that had both a positive offense and defensive leverage. It was Aiden Sherrill, who only played 9 minutes, Noah Williamson, and then, Aiden Holloway. And I thought on the blue-collar stuff, he wasn't great at it last game. He was really focused on making some tough defensive plays. He did. He had double-digit blue-collar points, which was big. I thought he was in there scrapping, making some tough plays. When he was in the game, our defense was actually a positive 8, which 8 points per 100 possessions, which is great because his offense is always through the roof. And, we just need him to continue to focus. I think when he focuses on making tough, hard-nosed, blue-collar plays defensively, I think the offense just flows because he's that talented of an offensive player. And I think that's what you saw today.
Yeah, I mean, where's that been from Noah Williamson?
Shoot. It's a great question. He had more field goals today than he's had all year. I'll say this. He's a really good kid. I think obviously been struggling with some confidence, which we've been trying to give it to him. And you got to look in the mirror. I mean, as a head coach, I got to do a better job pumping these guys full of confidence on some stuff. But I do think when he knew Aiden was out, that in itself gives a little more you're going to be in. We need you. He's a great kid. His teammates have been really hyping him up. He's been playing better in practice. I mean, he made a statement to me a few days. He's dunking everything, in our pre-practice kind of drills. I'm like, man, where you got some athleticism? No, he goes, SEC, coach, SEC play, SEC athleticism. So he was ready to go for SEC play. Got some athletes in the SEC. He wasn't dunking over anybody today, but he's going to the rim trying to finish. I mean, shoot. Coach Fleming made a great point in video this past week. He said there's only one guy in this room that's averaged 18 points a game in college. That's Noah Williamson. It's hard to do. He's talented. We got to get his confidence going. He needed this game in a big way. Huge for him. He did it against maybe the most athletic, biggest, toughest, for sure the most hyped in the preseason front court in our league. There's other really good front courts, but he did it against a really good front court. So if you can do this against Kentucky, you can do this in the SEC. So super happy. I mean, it was great because Amari, tough as can be. Amari wins the hard hat, but as soon as I flipped it to Amari, it was like an assist. He turned right back around. Noah's behind him in the video, put it on Noah's head, giving it as a nod to Noah because we don't win the game without him. And I think all the players knew it, and we knew it, and Noah's great. I mean, he ends up double-digit blue-collar points. He ends up positive offense and defensive leverage, second highest plus-minus on the team. I mean, he plays 18 minutes, and we're plus 15. And the only other one better than him was Holloway, who's as talented offensive player as there is in the country. So he did a lot of really good. I think, to me, the play of the game for him was the offensive rebound at the free throw line that Houston ends up hitting the three in the corner. We've been asking for those types of plays from some other guys in the front court, and he brought it for us. That may have been the most excited I was the whole game.
Coach, you just touched on Amari's toughness. Would you say that he has maybe filled the void in the blue-collar, hard-hat mentality that Mo Diabate left when he transferred out?
100%. I know we cross-matched and guarded with Trelly on Mo D, but with that group we started today, he was our starting four. And Mo D played 4 or 5. I mean, shoot, we even at the very end can play Amari at some 5. I mean, he's our leading rebounder. He's been that for a ton of games this year. But yes, but he's also a combo guard, point guard on the other end that can make plays. So it's nice when you can put a guy in there that's talented enough to be a point guard on offense and tough enough to be your blue-collar toughness guy like Mo D was for us last year. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, what did the whole team just kind of show you from a depth, toughness, effort standpoint, just with the amount of injuries you guys had to deal with?
Listen, it was, we played 9 guys, double-digit minutes. London's nowhere close to being 100%. He toughed it out, knew we needed him with Taylor being out. Taylor was ready to go mentally, like I'm ready if you need me, which is great. Just I felt like Noah was giving us enough and playing him. The fact that Trelly was able to guard Diabate well allowed us to play Amari kind of as the 4 more. So, we Noah played well. Rel goes out, Taylor's out. Those have been our starting 4 and 5. So to come in with Noah Williamson, if you hold the upper left for a minute, it goes to silent. My kids teach me a lot. They're good with the iPhone. But no, I think back to our front court and the depth and stuff. And Jaleel's coming. I was disappointed that I wasn't able to get him more minutes. We were doing well with some of the guys that were in. It was a big game. I got to get his confidence back going because he can really help us offensively. So we got to build some confidence with him moving forward.
Coach, did you think Amari Allen's start as far as on the glass? I thought he was really competing hard, kind of set the tone to out-rebound in Kentucky today.
Yeah, the offensive boards early. I don't know how many he had. I don't have the halftime stats in front of me, but he ends up with 6, and to me, he had 3 or 4 of those right out of the gate. Like, we're going to set the tone, and we're going to go to the old boards. And, we ended up out-rebounding them by 2 on the offensive boards. We're talking about, like, winning the possession game a lot with our team. We were +2 on the turnovers, +2 on the old board, so we're +4 on the possession game. We end up getting, they got to the free throw line a little bit more than we would like. But on the field goals, we were able to get 8 more field goal attempts up. And when you allow us to get 38 threes up, we're going to score a lot of points from the free throw line. That contributes to our second chance points. They end up outscoring us by 2 on the second chance. But I thought, his attention to really making sure he crashed on the old boards was great. Houston, London, Noah, and him all had at least 2. And he ended up the only guy over 2. He had 6, which is huge.
Nate, I think of the current SEC teams, I think Alabama today became only the 4th to beat Kentucky 4 games in a row. What's that say about your program?
We've got it to where we're competing for championships every year. A little disappointed these last 2 years we haven't won an SEC championship. I mean, to me, Kentucky's kind of that standard bearer. They've won the most games, the most championships. They've got all this tradition, and you respect it, and they got very high expectations over there right now. So for us, to get them 3 times last year and get them the first time this year, I think we've gotten our program to I'm very disappointed when we don't win a championship around here. So we're competing for a championship this year. So, we've beaten Kentucky 4 straight, but now we've got the best team in the league analytically coming up next on the road. So, whether it's Kentucky, and Kentucky's not what everybody was hoping over there that they would be this year, but they still have a lot of talent that I think they're going to win some games. And, they had some injuries and they're getting their chemistry back together. And, lucky for us, fortunate for us that, they don't have that many games under their belt with everybody available. And I don't think their chemistry's quite where they want it right now, but they're still good. I mean, they've got players over there that will play in the NBA. They've got McDonald's All-Americans. They got some of the best transfers come out of the portal. So that's a high talent team over there for us, and they were good last year. I mean, I think I saw a stat and I watched. The good thing for us, the first game in conference play, I had all week to prepare for them. I watched a million different games. I saw a stat last year. They had more, I think, top 15 wins than anybody in the country. So it's not like Coach Pope doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, they went in there and won a bunch of big games. So it's not like we just beat up on a bad team. They were good last year, and they've got a lot of talent this year. So we've gotten our program up to where we're competing with the best teams in the SEC. And when I say competing, we've won more championships in the SEC than anybody since we've gotten here 7 years ago. So we haven't won any in the last 2 years. So we're competing for one this year, getting a win on the road against the best team in our league, at least in the analytics. It would go a long ways to that winning a championship on Wednesday.
You touched on it a little bit in your opening statement, but you guys did a great job at limiting Kentucky's 3 big men in this game. How much of an emphasis was there on kind of forcing them to shoot the ball tonight?
Yeah, I mean, so we looked at a few different stats coming in this game. I had our guys pull every assist they've had because when I watched them play, I didn't feel like they moved the ball great. And then you look and their assist rate's actually pretty high. Well, do a little deeper dive, 27 assists against games that played a lot of zone. When they played high major teams that were really good, their assist rate's very low. They throw it into the bigs, they're not really passing. They had 7 assists out of the post in 13 games coming in. Moreno had 4 of them. I think somebody else had 3. I can't remember who it was, and then nobody else had an assist in 13 games out of the post. So Our thing was they throw it in. Like these guys they're not trying to pass. They're trying to score the ball, especially, outside of Moreno, who's really talented and will pass the ball a little bit. But, I think you saw a few times I was a little disappointed. We needed to go dig it out even better, but we made plays on the post, told our guards, go get it. Like they're not passing, go get the ball. They're trying to score when they throw it in there. So our bigs fight to catch, force it out. Our guards, when they get it, go get it because they're not passing the ball. I thought we did a pretty good job of that. If you look at, the starting front court had 10 points. Noah Williamson had 10 for us. And then the guys off the bench, Quaintance, who's super talented, had 5. And I think he didn't have many early. Then you kind of go down in the front court. We did a pretty good job. So you look at those 3 guys; those are 3 very talented players, and they had a talented one that didn't even get any minutes. So I thought our front court guys did a pretty good job.
Hey, Coach, after the Arizona game, you challenged your team to play tougher and rebound better. How do you think they've responded to that?
Better today. This isn't Arizona. They don't try to kill you as much on the old boards like Arizona did, but they had Mo Diabate. Mo ended up with 4, which he does really well. But, we out-rebounded them by 4. If we get out-rebounded like we did against Arizona, it's going to be hard to beat anybody. So they're doing better. We haven't done it for a full 40 like I'd like to see, but there's a reason we play the best teams in the country every year. Arizona's number 1 in the country right now. They exposed us in a way that, Purdue did as well, and we just got to keep getting after it. Noah Williamson proved he can do a good job boxing out. He got the big old board at the free throw line. Amari can be that guy for us if, maybe he ends up being our starting 4. London Jimison, I thought, showed a lot of toughness today. We're looking for guys that are going to exhibit toughness in every game they play, go get rebounds, have tough blockouts. The issue has been on these offensive boards, and we did a deep dive on them here, after our non-conference play. A lot of them have come off defensive breakdowns. So I think, the fact that we out-rebounded them, even though guys like LeBaron, Reitzel, Holloway aren't in there scooping up a bunch, although Holloway and Philon both had 4 today each, and Trelli, but they're not getting beaten on breakdowns as much because the guard breakdowns force rotations, which then it's like sometimes you go look at all the old boards we gave up. It's really not a box out problem. There's nobody left to rotate to the guy who gets the rebound because we had to bring a third guy into an action because we didn't guard the action correct, or we just got beat on a blow by and they helped. So, I think an emphasis on way fewer defensive breakdowns and then tougher guys, and then guys just want to go get the ball, and you got to play those guys. So Amari Allen, ends up leading the team, and my fault. He was 3rd on the team in minutes. If he hadn't got hurt, we probably would have led us. But, Trelli, Holloway, and Amari, all over 30, guys that are going to make tough plays, go get rebounds, and not have defensive breakdowns are going to play for us moving forward. Good seeing you guys. Happy New Year.